In patch 2, the Alans are a powerhouse of a faction. They still have the same generals options, price reductions across the board, 30 bonus against cavalry on Germanic spearmen. They have shock infantry, decent shock infantry, and elite Gother side. They can get a lot of kills. Very fragile though, Summation Warband, decent units. Price reductions on skirmishers overall, but the really interesting changes start becoming apparent in the cavalry department, the melee cavalry department. Now, I'm not going to repeat for every single faction that Germanic horsemen got nerfed, and why that is important, because people tend to, when I don't mention something that I've mentioned in several videos, people tend to sort of, well, keep in mind that Germanic horsemen were nerfed, and I'm going to take that as a given, because I've already mentioned it in several videos. So of course people who haven't watched the other videos are going to comment that I might have forgotten something, and that is entirely fine, but I am not going to mention everything in every single video, because then they would be unnecessarily long, and I already tend to go off on tangents like this, which make the videos longer than they need to be. But if I've mentioned something, I might not say it every single time I make something about that faction. So, the Alanic horsemen are now very useful. They are, compared to the Germanic horsemen, they are not great in terms of combatability. However, the main difference between these guys is that and it's a substantial difference, because the Alanic horsemen now have 32 melee damage and 20 bonus against large, which effectively means that they're swinging at 52 potential melee damage against enemy cavalry, while the Germanic horsemen have 35. So you're getting 52 damage for 25 extra. So if you want to bring one of these mid-tier options, the Germanic horsemen just don't have a place in the Alani roster, assuming there aren't unit restrictions in place. Typhali cavalry, still useless, don't bother. A step up from the Typhali, we have Noble Alani cavalry, and now they have the 30 bonus against large. They are still heavy, quite low on the melee defense side, can be fixed a bit with their with upgrading them, but these units are now the new kings of the melee cavalry department. 30 bonus, great health, great armor, can handle upgrades fairly well. And if you look at a step above them here, with the Noble Germanic horsemen, the Noble Germanic horsemen are very good units, but these units are very similar. It's just that the Noble Alani is going to be doing more damage guaranteed to the Noble Germanic horsemen, and Noble Alani are the new Tagmata cavalry, almost. Elite Gotharsai, just no. Don't even bother. I shouldn't have to say why they are a horrible idea, but I will anyway. No bonus against cavalry. They have axe that they use in close combat, and just don't. You're paying way too much and you're getting far too little in return. So Germanic Lancers, gone over them before. When you get to the Summation Cataphracts, they have gotten a 10 bonus against cavalry, which is decent enough. And at least Elite Sarmatians have a beastly charge bonus, good armor, but too expensive in my opinion. Much rather see some melee cavalry and maybe some Germanic Lancers or Summation Cataphracts. Summation Cataphracts are very nice for their bonus and their increased armor, but Germanic Lancers are also very nice. The Alans have bow cavalry. You don't see them used very often, and for good reason. They are medium bow cavalry, which means that they can be decent in mowing down enemy infantry on the charge. But without Parthian shot, their usefulness against cavalry is very limited. So I don't think, no, we won't see too much bow cavalry from the Alans either. Then for the skirmish cavalry, they suffer from the same problems any skirmish cavalry in the game does. No Parthian means that they will get caught and trampled to death by heavier cavalry, because they have a fast... they have this... if a unit is running away from a heavier unit, a light unit is running away, it has a faster speed, but if that lighter unit was running in trying to throw some javelins, turn around, and then the following unit hit charge speed, then every single cavalry unit in the game has the same charge speed, so it will catch up to a unit that is just running away from it. Now, as sort of the verdict on the Alans are still top tier. They have the essential Germanic roster, but getting the buff on the... Well, since Germanic horsemen got nerfed, the Alani horsemen got a buff in that they are now dominant in the Germanic roster together with the noble Alani cavalry. So the Alani horsemen and the noble Alani cavalry, while they didn't get as much play as the Germanic horsemen and the noble Germanics in patch 1, the combination of Alani and noble Alani cannot be beat by any faction. It can only be matched, and the Alans are now supremely dangerous. So in terms of Alani builds, that might be... I forgot to do this with the previous Alaman build, but in terms of Alani builds that are quite decent. If you want a cavalry general to support your already deadly noble Alani cavalry, and this is going to assume that there's a cavalry maximum of 8, just an arbitrary number really, it could be anything. Then we have Germanic archers, still very useful for securing a cavalry advantage and helping with the cavalry fight. You know that I love the noble Germanic swordsmen, both because they are disciplined, they have encourage, they have shield wall, they will hold out for a long time while your cavalry cleans house. And as you can see, although I have 6 noble Alani cavalry here, I have a significant amount of funds left that I can use for something. So I can, for example, bring 6 Germanic archers, and then I have some upgrades remaining for my let's see here, for my noble Alani. So I can, although I don't really need to, with this type of setup, I can make them double silver. So the Alans definitely top tier now, because they have the best melee cavalry and the essential Germanic roster. Strength and honor.